Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is my submission for the Ramadan Build challenge. And the app that I've created today is called Tazkiyah AI. And this is an Islamic mental health app for struggling Muslims. So the main problem that I've noticed is that during Ramadan, Muslims might be stressed on what to do each day spiritually because they have to balance work or school, fasting, and if they pray Tarawih, they might not have time to make it to figure out, okay, each day, what should I do so that I can be the best Muslim I can possibly be. I've also noticed that there's a lack of accessible Islamic based mental health tools. Like, if someone wants to figure out how to make sure they can keep their concentration in prayer and tips on what to do, there's not many mental health tools that can help them with that. I also noticed that Muslims they often focus on the fiqh aspect of Islam while neglecting the spiritual aspect. Now, what I mean by that is that people often focus on, okay, I need to pray 5 times a day. I need to do it exactly like this. And while this is very important, these actions should not feel like a chore. This should fulfill oneself. Like while you're praying, you should be thinking of Allah. You should you shouldn't mm, feel like you're forced to do this. So my solution is a personal Ramadan growth plan that if followed will improve an individual's iman immensely. So they will give things to do each day, and if the, if the user follows through with the task that they're assigned, they will 100% be a better Muslim at the end of Ramadan than they were before. I also propose an AI assistant that is trained on authentic Islamic books that are on Tazkiyah or the purification of the soul. And I also want to let users search for authentic hadiths that are specific to their problems. So, for example, if someone wanted to figure out the importance of prayer, they can just search it up, and instead of having to flip through a hadith book, they can just get the answer immediately. They can get hadiths that relate directly to their problem. So here's what users see as soon as they log in. You can either choose to log in or sign up. And I won't bore you with me typing my information, so I'll log into the test account that I've already made. So here's the home screen. At the top, you can see it prompting us to create a Ramadan plan for the next 30 days. And we're also able to access the AI assistant and the Hadith search. Let's go ahead and look at the Ramadan plan. So this questionnaire helps the AI create the plan for the next 30 days based on what the user responds. First, they'll ask us about prayer habits. I'll act like I'm a new revert so that we can test the advice that it gives. Let's say that we pray sometimes, and we occasionally read our Quran, and we are beginners in Islamic knowledge, and we don't have that much time commitment. And our goal will be to pray 5 times a day and read Quran daily. And we want to improve on our concentration in prayer and reading Quran. And since we're a new revert, this is our first Ramadan. The Ramadan plan it generates the first week, and the other days, the full 30 days will be generated in the background. And the main reason why we do this is so that we don't want to keep the user waiting too long. Because if we have the user waiting for like 3 minutes for the entire plan to generate, that just takes too long for the user will get bored and click off. So see so as you can see for the first 7 days, you can look at these tasks. These tasks are not like crazy hard. These are just small tasks that are meant to be incremental to help the user build a habit of doing these things. Like even opening the Quran will help a user build the habit. So you're also able to click on these and click on them and have them marked as done for the day, so you don't have to worry about it. And you can just see, okay, perform the whole prayer. These are not crazy hard tasks. They're just meant to slowly but surely build the iman. Now let's go to our AI assistant. This AI system is trained on Tazkiyah books to help Muslims who are struggling on any aspect. Let's say that we're struggling with the concentration in prayer. Let's see how it helped us. I am going now. As you can see here, it gives a very long response. But the reason why is because it's straight from these books. Like you can search up these books, and these are very authentic Tazkiyah books that even scholars use. And it gives very clear advice: set clear intentions, prepare yourself, and reflect on the meaning. Practice mindfulness. I won't read through the entire thing, but you can get the gist of what I'm trying to say. It gets very detailed on exactly what to do with your issue based on Islamic knowledge. And it gives you the sources. So if you want to check if the AI is being authentic, you can go straight to the source. Now, let's take a hadith search. Now, the main benefit of this hadith search is that giant hadith books, like in person hadith books, if you want to look for a very certain issue that you're personally facing, it's hard to flip through the entire book to see what hadiths relate to your specific issue. But with this search, it mitigates that because you can search directly for what you want. So let's say we want to find hadiths on the importance of prayer. We'll search through our database hadiths. Let's go click on the first one. It gives the Arabic translation and the English translation. And as you can see, it tells us that the importance of hadith, as if it can with the voluntary prayers we recorded, the first thing to be brought in account will be his prayer. So this is very clearly a hadith on the importance of prayer. It gives a chain index, it gives the chapter number, it gives which book it's from, and this is a very useful feature, in my opinion. Alright, so for our tech stack, we're using TypeScript with Next.js for the front end, which is the part of the application that the users interact with directly. And then for our back end, we use Python with Flask, and also our OpenAI API for the AI. And this handles all the background logic like user requests, AI operations, and communication with the database. And for our databases, we're using Pinecone for our vector database, and the Superbase PostgreSQL database for our traditional SQL database. Now, our AI assistant uses a process called retrieval augmented generation. And this process goes as follows. We take the user input, we convert it into an embedding, and it's like a numerical representation of data. So we turn the user input into a numerical representation. We cross-reference that numerical representation with data from our vector database. And the data inside our vector database is directly from Tazkiyah books. And the relevant data from the Tazkiyah books is given to our large language model as context to answer the user input. So this is how we give true, authentic advice. This is how our AI assistant does that. The Hadith search works very similar. We take the user input, we convert it into an embedding or numeric representation, and then we cross-reference it with hadiths inside our vector database. And the relevant hadiths are scored based on how similar they are to the user input, and they're given back to the user as search results. Now, final thoughts. This tool is not meant to replace scholars of fatwa. Instead, it's meant to provide accessible guidance and encouragement to spiritually struggling Muslims rooted in authentic sources.